does he live in New York City? It's important because Ed Dowling came away, when Ed Dowling realized that Bill Wilson had never read a word of St. Ignatius, he became persuaded that Bill had had some kind of a mystical, he described Alcoholics Anonymous as a divinely inspired program. And for a long time I thought he was being rhetorical, but it turns out, I read a book recently, that he wasn't. He really felt like somehow something happened to Bill that allowed him particularly to pen the 12 steps and to write some of the things that he wrote in the 164 pages of Alcoholics Anonymous that he sort of couldn't possibly have written. That I've had a little bit of that experience. Last year, it was mentioned I was on sabbatical. One of the places I went to Bill Wilson's birthplace, and I went to his gravesite. And I've read a lot about Bill Wilson, and there continue to be aspects of him that show up in the history of AA where I can't tell how this Yankee from Vermont traveled from point A to point B and became the kind of man that he was. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'll share a story in a little while about it that's an example of that. Anybody questions so far? I'm moving through these slides. Yeah?
So when did AA exactly start? Like what year was that?
Great segue.
Okay.
79 years ago last week.
Okay.
Okay? And now we skip forward. Bill carried the message. So Lois said, don't stop talking to alcoholics. And Bill had gotten his head around the idea that talking to drunkards, talking to dipsomaniacs made him feel better. So he got that, right? And he had been sober for a while, and an opportunity fell on his doorstep, and he had the opportunity to go on this business trip as an emissary of one of these investment firms in Wall Street to participate in a hostile takeover of a rubber company. And so he traveled from New York to Akron, Ohio. And this was going to be his big break. This was a big deal. And not only he was going to negotiate this hostile takeover, he was going to be installed as the president of this new company. This was going to be he was finally going to get back into success as he knew it. And he went, and the business trip, the takeover fell apart. It went very, very badly. And not only did he not end up president of this company, and the thing failed, and he found himself in that hotel. That's the Mayflower Hotel. It's still there. You could go there. It's kind of a dump right now. It's a